Welcome, friends. Welcome, beautiful friends. Welcome, welcome. Good to see everybody. How are you? I am always having my, let's see. Okay, here we go. All right. How's everybody doing? Welcome, welcome. Good to see everybody. Let me give you guys just a minute to finish logging in and we'll get started. So, the chat is open, as you all know, and tonight we're going to kind of do some new. I try to use the charts, the stars, the universe, and everything to try and help us understand that we are all okay. Okay, that is the end of the topic that really I'm trying to get to, is that we're okay. We just got to go within. So tonight we're going to try and figure out what is going on with this energy in the sky, because it is definitely impacting all of us. So I'm going to get started, and then again, we'll let everybody slide in as they get here. All right. All right, everybody. Welcome to the Truth Tribe. I'm Daune Thompson. Thank you for being here. You are all perfect, exactly where you are right now. Nothing wrong with you. I promise. I love you all very much. Remember that the Truth Tribe is to illuminate your self-awareness of your health, of your wealth, and of your love, and everything in between. You do not need your astrology chart for Truth Tribe, but I'm telling you, it sure helps when we get to that point at the end of the call for self-awareness during the planetary update, so you can see yourself. That's the goal. So if you don't know the basics on your chart, or at least how to find the signs of your chart and what the houses mean, you can go get Self-Awareness Astrology 101 on my website, ideserveitnow.com. And it's right on the homepage. If you want the link, just let me know and I'll shoot it over. All right. So let's get started on tonight's topic. Your insecurities are having a staring contest. Who will win? Guys, your past has met your future. That's what's happening. And who will win? That's the big question on the table tonight. It's a big day. I mean, a big day. It's rebirth energy day. And to want you all to step into it. Don't fight it. Don't be afraid of it, because many are feeling like your emotions are on that roller coaster ride, while at the same time you're finding clarity, like where you've been holding yourself back, right? Then, while you know exactly where you want to be, waves of grief and ruminating thoughts that I'm not enough, I'm not good enough. Do you remember when that happened? Oh my gosh, right? Right, that you're done with keeping, you don't want to have it anymore, yet they keep surfacing, or you're crying, or disappointment, or sadness. And it's almost like you're mourning the death of something that you used to be, but you're not sure what. Sudden reminders might be coming up of maybe what you've been trying to heal physically, mentally, or emotionally, and they're popping up only to see your rearview mirror. They're waving goodbye. That's what's happening. You're not angry anymore. You're not sad anymore, but there's a part of you like, but I am, but I'm not, but I am, but I'm not. Because you're clear on your path. And that is what is surfacing right now. You're getting clarity on, I know exactly what I freaking need to do. Your nervous systems are letting go of old, expired versions of you, so you can step into your happy highway. Your soul knows that something you've been healing, developing, growing with super hard work is finally clear on how to get there. You don't have to know the tools yet, but you know exactly where you're going or what you want, and you're gonna get it. But criticism is a part of what's going on in the sky. I warned you last week of this Scorpio full moon influence, because it's pushing up, right, all of our own secrets, so that we're in like, oh man, like not that old shit again, right? I don't want to see it. Yet it's not old. It's no longer part of your rebirth. It's just here for you to see and not to judge its passing through for one last time. That's what's going on, and it's amazing. So how many of you, I want you to think of it from outside of yourself for a second, because that's easier, even though I don't like you guys going out there, right? How many of you ever seen someone yell or criticize or critique a crawling baby, right? For not being able to walk like the first day they start crawling? You don't, but you're face to face with your own pain point core wounds in a showdown right now, and it's up to you to decide. How many of you have looked at your insecurities or your insecure categories of life in your birth chart, in your soul, and criticized yourself today for not being a master at it? I hope none of you can say yes to that, but we do it. And we forget that we're in that same state as a baby. And it's so fascinating how we perpetuate this suffering and struggle and conflict in areas that our soul came to master, to learn and create better understanding by taking one step at a time. You might fall a little, but your ego, or your shadow beast, as I describe it, is programmed to protect you, right? Your shadow and your ego wants three things: to eat, sleep, and drink, but it got programmed with some not so pleasant, unhealthy, loving patterns and habits, right? So it's programmed to protect you and create suffering only in the form that it learned from one of your pain pillars, as we discussed last week. If you didn't listen to it, it's number 115, but we talked about it. It's asking for insecurity, which is security, emotional and financial, abandonment, fear, shame, guilt, and trust. The root of those painful lessons telling you, if you walk into that insecure room of your life, you will hurt. Life will hurt. You know this. And now that you know it, you're like, okay, I know better. But that's not true. That's your crawling self perspective, not your walking perspective. And remember, each time that baby falls, when you try to walk, or when that baby tries to walk, we celebrate, we encourage them, we nudge them, we encourage one more step until they got it. And that's what I'm encouraging all of you to do tonight. That's the difference between you mastering a few areas in your life that you are insecure and perpetuating this crawling state instead of your walking state. You are refusing to try a new reality that is walking, maybe wobbly, maybe stumbling, but you got this. And it's the difference between who you were told that you were and who your soul knows you are. Your soul knows your healing, it knows your wealth, it knows your love, it knows all of it. And you're capable of living in a high frequency mastery in all areas of your life, even the ones that scare the shit out of you. I want you to consider and remind yourself, it's not you as a whole problematic self. And you need to like continue suffering all of your life. It's just a sliver or walking in a wobbly state for a little while in one or two categories, one or two areas of your life. It's simply reminding yourself that you're learning to walk one step at a time in a dark room that simply doesn't have the lights on. And anyone who's walked into a dark room will put their hand out, right? Finding the wall, seeking, I know that there's a light switch, knowing that it might be messy in that room, the room of your soul, that you have to maybe step over a few boulders in your way, right? But you may have to walk around something in the dark, but you still know that you're capable of cleaning up your house, shining light, and mastering how to live in that room with light, ultimately confidence. And every experience of life is designed by your soul. You design this life, my friends, and set up the events that you designed to master. You are ready because most of you are already masterful in many categories. And simply, you just need to grow your insecurities in a few areas of life. Simply acknowledging what are the categories that you need to focus on most. What is the experiences revealing to me to grow a new level of confidence in that room of my life? Not bringing others into it with you, but filling it in yourself. Okay? So until the unconscious, which are those dark rooms, those insecure areas, the topics you don't like to look at, until that unconscious is made conscious, this is a quote, It will drive your life as the captain, as your captain, and you'll call it fate. That's young. But in other words, in Daune's words, your sonar energy is sent out, right, as your insecure ego, sending out a frequency, an energetic pounding out into the world, like a submarine, sending out a sound wave, telling you to find what matches your insecurities. And until you see what you are attracting, you will feel out of control until you make your insecure captain come to the surface. You decide to drive your own ship instead of letting your insecure ego drive it. This is learned in my Elevate course very easily and very quickly on paper. So until you raise your awareness to what you want to create versus what you are unaware of. So I have to share with you guys, I saw this interview of, like, they were interviewing multiple psychologists, right, who were asked, how many people have you healed? And I was fascinated because I fall into this category a lot, right? People don't end up my doorstep when they're feeling great. It's when they've been to psychiatrists and psychologists and healers and drugs and medication and therapy, and nothing works. And what I was fascinated by this interview is most of the people in this interview said none. One of them said one, and most of them said they don't have a procedure in psychology to heal you because they're focused on the problem and not the root that is there for you to grow, that you can own and that you have the power over. It's in your birth chart and it's very clear. 4 hotspots. So in those hotspot topics and in our categories of our chart, right? I had this super cool experience with one of my own energy healers that my husband and I we were working with. And his wife was struggling with cancer, big deal on the planet right now. And he was struggling to try and get her in the right direction. And because he's a healer himself, he was getting frustrated. And my heart just sank because he was hitting blocks on why he couldn't get clarity on how to hack it. Because he, and I believe the body knows how to heal when you remove the emotional blocks in its way of doing its own job. Your body is a chemical factory of healing chemicals, not just depression chemicals, okay? So I said, hey, I found the pain pillars and the hotspots in my husband's chart to help his sessions with you to be more precise, to zero in on his issues where they were asking for attention, okay? He helped us both so much, like I was just blown away, because we were very clear on specifically how to get where we were going. We just needed someone to get out of our own way and help us drive that ship, right? So I wanted to help him to see how his wife could take back her own healing power if she saw her own self first before he was just shooting in the dark, okay? So I asked, would you like the same hotspot visual for your wife, at least if I just showed it to you? So she's clear, and it's not all of her broken and suffering. It's more just a few rooms in her lighthouse that she's avoiding, right? That will awaken her path when she owns her karma with clarity on her direction, not you. And I got a call from him today, my friends, stating that he used a new protocol that he created around her hotspot blueprint and the pain points that revealed in it. And she had this profound healing from that session. And was the first time she slept 10 hours of sleep pain-free in months. Guys, I rest my case. Your soul knows how to heal the body and the mind. Your ego is the judge and jury that keeps you suffering. And your ego doesn't get to be the boss of you anymore, which is why this Scorpio energy is going, nope, nope, I'm better. I'm bigger, more badass than all of you. I'm going to push you into that darkness. So how do you give your subconscious thoughts a break from resistance? Right? Because there's a phrase that Eckhart Tolle uses. It's what you resist persists. So the more you press against what you don't want, the more you're going to get it. And when we're resisting these insecurities and these pain points and these core wounds that are saying, please pay attention to me, then we get non-movement, okay? Confidence is to walk into the fire that feels like pain, right? You have to give it one new plan of action and then rewire that every day in any way, in every way you can, right? It's my lick the curb theory until your soul believes those actions and rewires that nervous system. Okay, so I use hotspots as my first stop because they are the dark rooms of insecurity on paper. There's no therapy needed. You have the power. It's just where validating your shadow is waiting for an action plan. Like, okay, now we know. Now what are we going to do? So stop trying to become something that's different and just become who you are right now, who you need to be in your soul right now. And you will attract that matching frequency of experiences. You must learn to be disliked, my friends, or you will stay in other people's prisons. So you're not stuck, you're just blocked from the room that's wanting you to enter it. And your confidence grows from continually looking at yourself as a lighthouse. Remember, you have 12 rooms in your lighthouse representing the 12 rooms of the zodiac of your astrology wheel, and they each represent a different category of your life. Are you shining light into all 12 aspects of your life? So in the thousands of astrology birth charts that I've viewed, my friends, I have found these 4 spots that sit in every chart. Why do I call them hot spots? Because as soon as you get too close to that spot, it feels like it's burning you or uncomfortable. And you back off, and then you don't walk through the fire or through the darkness. Call it a boulder, call it a block, right? Call it simply discomfort because you don't like it, because you lack confidence. But these 4 categories are what you came to master. The whole chart, yes. But I tell people, just start small in your feelings and your actions about those categories of your life. So no matter, right? Because we get a lot of conflict like, oh, religion and astrology and the universe and what do we believe? No matter your religion, no matter your spiritual consciousness, no matter your conspiracy theory awareness, no matter what it is, none of it matters but your Christ consciousness, your Buddha consciousness, your Kali, Krishna, whatever your God love consciousness is, divine connection, it's just God, they're the God codes inside of you. Okay, it's simply God code that you all have already inside of you that you could heal like that instantaneously. You came to see you, my friends, and your divine light within. And everything externally in your life is fighting for your attention so that you won't shine bright from the inside out because you're avoiding you and you're looking out there. And I'm telling you, every time you look out there, if it affects you, turn it off, don't go there, give it 0 attention and get back in here and put another brick and another brick on your path of your happy highway. So any or all categories in your life, self-confidence, money, worth, communication, home, security, romance, kids, health, partners, change, intimacy, emotions, finances, beliefs, career, dreams, or your mind, right? One of those or several have a hotspot in it or the door closed, right? And one or several of those categories are requesting your attention as this beautiful Scorpio full moon is begging for your attention. So tonight, find your 4 hotspots and take baby steps to fill your resistance and push in anyway. Number 2, today's full moon in Scorpio, I need you to embrace that is the death of the old you, of your old ego self, ruling your ship, and rebirth of your truth, becoming the phoenix. You're growing into this new you. And number 3, so find the Scorpio house. Number 3, find the Taurus house in your chart. Because where Taurus is, it's pushing you into radical, sudden, immediate change. You're like, whoa, it's a thought, it's an idea, it's a change in your environment, in your worth, and in your value, because Taurus rules money, worth, and value. So there's a new timeline that you have all jumped onto, and the old you is no longer part of your body, mind, and spirit, body, mind, and soul, whatever you want to call it. And that's what you're all feeling. That's why the crying. That's why the discomfort. That's why but I'm still okay. Actually, like, kind of know what I'm doing. Like I feel peace, but I'm still off. You're not off. You're learning to walk and maybe a little wobbly. So what houses or categories of your life are asking you to grow and grow fast, especially in that Taurus house? Okay. So yes, your insecurities, my friends, are having a staring contest to see if you will back off or you will own it and push back onto your dreams and rewire your nervous system. And your nervous system gets rewired by action. Remember, awareness doesn't change much. You know what you need to know, but it takes action to make that change. And it's going to be uncomfortable. So many of you on this call have been doing the work, right? You have been doing so much work. So you've been doing this like unconsciously, probably without even realizing that you're doing it. So whatever clarity that has already arisen for some of you, I'll have you share that in the chat in a little bit. Or it does arrive, maybe in the next few days to few weeks, own it, move with it. It's your own rebirth into those dreams that you have all been working on. Do not back away. Do not, pass go, just move. I promise that's what's happening. Okay. So it's the best I can give you on what's happening to all of you is that we're being forced to go head to head with all the old skin, all the old purging, all the old ashes, and look at them and say, am I going to stay there and suffer or not? So in the planetary update, let's update you again. I'm going to review a little bit from last week to remind you today. I shared this last week, but today is the full moon in Scorpio. So let's review. Guys, basically buckle up. And I warned you last week because it's been building, building, building. So this weekend it showed up as well. Buckle up because the Scorpio full moon is not here to play. It is here to pull skeletons out of your subconscious closet. And it's whispering, deal with this or repeat it. And I know none of you on this call want to repeat it because you're like, I'm ready. It's time. Let's go live a badass, beautiful life because you all deserve it. So find the house in your chart, again, that is ruled by Scorpio, as well as your own personal moon in your birth chart. So your moon's going to sit in some house, and you're also going to have the moon is sitting in the constellation of Scorpio. Don't worry about the transits. Just know that that Scorpio house is getting lit up from this full moon. And so there's no darkness that can sit in that dark Scorpio house because it's saying, look in the dark room. Okay. Then if you break it down, both of those houses are going to need rebirth. So moon rules emotion. So your moon sign house is going to want you to feel that stuff, right? I felt it with my kids and my romance. That's where my moon sits. I'm like, okay, it's time to ante up, right? So let's break it down. Scorpio, what is this Scorpio moon doing or bringing up for us? It rules sex, intimacy, death, rebirth, finances, change, secrets, with intense focus on passion and projects and the secrets that you've been holding back that you really want. Okay. You're going to feel it because Scorpio's ruling planet, also remember Pluto, is in Aquarius, the rebel, pushing a need for major change like snake-like shedding. Like you're just going to pull out of it. Well, last week you did. And if you haven't yet, I'm telling you to let go. That is the ashes so you can rebirth into the phoenix. And Pluto went retrograde last week as well. So it's asking you to go review back over friends, groups, your hopes, your wishes, your dreams, technology, AI. And then people tell me, but AI is bad, Dawn. No, 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 no. Everything has high frequency, low frequency. If you jump into it with high frequency, you're going to get the high frequency of AI. If you jump into it low frequency and let I tell you how to live your life and everything about you and what is right and wrong, and your gut's like, that's not right, then you change your prompt and you have low frequency of it. It's up to you. But it's going to ask you to go back over and reevaluate your reality. What is it that you need? So if you feel like you're losing your head, you were. So you could find clarity right now in this moon. This moon is so like big and brilliant, but it's brutal because it's not letting you off the hook. So it's shining light on long-held secrets that externally and internally are also in your own chart. Okay. It's about transformation of your own life in a major way. And most people won't transform as easily because you're resisting letting go of that, how you felt, what happened to you, who hurt you, who traumatized you, who nobody did it to you. It's in your chart. I guarantee it. And you go, oh my gosh, that's it. Just like I was talking about with my healer, it was in her chart for her to take back her power and then relax enough to let someone guide her down the path. Because my friends, healers don't do anything to you. They're just your tour guide. They're just tour guiding you to where you can find the solutions within. So just know, like a major growth shift out of your old skin and into another, that's what's going on from your old self to your true self. So remember that Scorpio's low frequency causes emotional overwhelm with like jealousy, control issues, possessiveness, right? That sneaky urge to burn everything down when you're feeling insecure and vulnerable, because Scorpio hates feeling exposed. Old trauma is surfacing. That was that roller coaster I was talking about. If you've been sweeping emotional wounds under the rug, guess what's getting pushed up into your face? Okay. Manipulation and power struggles. If you or others come up with this, it's going to feel like maybe the other people around you too are tempted to use silence or fear or guilt to gain control, because Scorpio wants to feel safe. It's a fixed sign. So they want to feel safe. They don't like moving easy. They're very controlled. And obsessive thoughts, over analyzing things like stalking exes and overanalyzing texts and imaginary betrayal that hasn't happened, right? It's a full-on trust issue party. Now, if you're going to go high frequency, which I'm calling all of you to do, your inner phoenix is calling, because this time right now is for emotional alchemy. This is the most prime time for all of you to write down your dreams, burn it, flush it. I don't care what you do with it. Throw it down the garbage. It doesn't matter, but write it down from your energy onto paper and transform your pain into power. Journal it, cry it. I don't care what you do. And then rise higher than those triggers. Fill in your pain points first. Give it back to you. Remember, if you've got a pain point of abandonment, people aren't abandoning you. You've been abandoning you. Stop doing that. You need financial or emotional security. Give yourself emotional security. What do you want to feel? So it's always about giving back to you where you're seeing it outside of yourself. Radical truth and release are coming up. Scorpio is they're like razor sharp instincts, because Scorpio is a very psychic, intuitive sign. So it helps you see the truth, even the one that you've all been avoiding in yourself. So honesty with yourself becomes the healing. Deep intimacy. Scorpio rules sex and intimacy and emotion. And so I'm not talking surface level connection, my friends. This moon is craving your soul to merge and shadow holding each other, both light and dark. I see your wounds and I'm going to stay kind of intimacy. It doesn't bother me. And then rebirth. You're going to let go of all those toxic patterns people believe. Scorpio just doesn't release. It literally transcends. So this moon is saying you're not broken. You're just rebirthing. Okay. So Scorpio full moon, remember, is not trying to destroy you. It's destroying the illusion that you were safe in this old wound. Those old pain pillar wounds, those old rooms in your house that you have not walked into, and it's saying, no more, we're going. Now, remember, in order to have a full moon, you have to have the sun up here shining light down onto the full moon and creating it full. So the sun up here is in Taurus. Again, Pluto is in Aquarius. Uranus is in Taurus. Uranus is the ruling planet of Pluto. I'm sorry, Uranus is the ruling planet of Aquarius. So they're all talking to each other. And so having the sun and Uranus in Taurus, Uranus rules sudden change, sunburst in, sunburst out, sudden clarity, like I was dark and I was confused and all of a sudden I got clarity. That's why I'm telling you the roller coaster's happening, because you're like heavy and releasing and you're trying to purge and you're like, but I'm good. I actually know what the heck I want. So be at peace with this sudden clarity and the closure and embrace this new you. Okay, everybody tap into your thymus right here. Your nervous system, this is your healing center. This is your immune center. Tap in and repeat after me. I am courage. I am love. I am truth. Tap into the thoughts. I know courage. I know love. I know truth. Okay. I want to tap into Q&A because I want those of you on the call, who here has had this emotional overwhelm that is met with all of a sudden you've been meeting this crystal clarity at the same time and it's very confusing, but you're still like, I got it. Or I know what I'm done with. I know what I want. I know where I'm going. It's not easy. I don't even maybe like the bricks I have to lay, but I know where I'm going. But it's been a heavy weight to let it go or figure it out, or it was painful to see it. Whoever is seeing that, that's what I want you to open up, or any questions, as you all know. Someone said it's so brutal. It is. Thank you for sharing that because it's brutal. You feel like the beating, the emotions, the reminders, this ruminating thoughts over and over again. I can't believe myself. That's what it's showing up for, my friends. Why? Because it's telling you you're done. Pick what you want. Pick the clarity. Pick a brick and lay it down. So I get it. Okay. Someone says, it feels like old stuff is appearing to take me backwards. See, we're all feeling the same thing. Yes, it is, but it's simply up for review. That's all it is. It's only for you to see it so you can say bye-bye, right? And you get to choose what you want now to own in your life instead of what it was. You get to find a new path for you. So simply say, no, I do not accept you, shadow beast. I do not accept you, ego. I do not accept whatever it is. I will not feed you negative cookies to feed your insecure patterns. Right? I choose to fill myself with peace and joy, and just saying it, you will feel that your nervous system starts to calm down. Okay. Someone says, what would be the best way to approach others who are resisting your change? Okay. This is a great question because you don't. You don't resist others who are resisting your change. You say, okay, that's okay if that's what you want. This is how I want to live. You can join me in this version, this new me, or not. But it's not on you to tell other people how to live, how to change, how to come with you. It's up to you to wake up and see if you're avoiding living your own chosen blueprint. Because I guarantee you it's not like theirs if they're fighting it. Someone says it's been remarkable and confusing, overwhelming, but I've been seeing clarity of why things happen in the past. That's exactly what this moon is doing to all of us. We go, oh, it totally was for me. I get it. I'm starting to see why, right? That's what's coming up. Someone else says, I was doing good and now I feel like I just went backward. I got you guys all getting these little fruit flies, a little fruit fly flying around me. Or maybe it's not a fruit fly, it's a little gnat. So it says, I just went backwards and then all the healing I've been doing feels wasted. Not at all. My friends, you cannot walk through the fire if you don't feel it a little bit. So if it's coming up, it's telling you you're ready. You are not going backwards. So please embrace this and go, thank you, Scorpio moon. Thank you for showing it to me. I get it, because the fact that I'm seeing it means I'm about to walk through to the other side. So this is actually beautiful for you. No, you did not go backwards. Put your hand out, tap right here, because you have not wasted it. All right, I've been reminding myself I deserve grace, and as I move forward, love and grace with confidence. It's beautiful and very, very well said, because we have to keep reminding ourselves, you just gotta love in you. You've got to love the choice that you're going to make. And the choice you're going to make, some people may not like it for a while. And it may change. Your new road, your new brick road, my friends, isn't going to be perfectly straight. It may take a little detour and then straighten out again and kind of weave. And just like you're walking like a wobbly, right, little toddler that's trying to walk. That's what you're doing. You're walking through the fire. All right. Someone else says, let's see what this is. It says, so is therapy bad if there's no healing? Wow, someone caught that. No, it is not bad. If you go in with a plan to see your big picture for you, to see what categories in your life you resist growing in, and if you go in to see where the root pain originated from, then therapy is not bad. It's wonderful. Okay. But if you go in to ruminate on your pain, who caused it, who ruined your life, who took from you, who created, victimized you, you're not owning your life and you're not embracing your own power to grow into you, who you came to be. That is you and God's deal, guys, not the therapist and no one else. Your parents are not the bad guys. And most of you learned from them your poor, unhealthy patterns of love to be chain breakers. That's what you are. You're chain breakers for them and for yourself. And any of you who have children, you're breaking it for them as well. So stop blaming the experience or the parents or the people or the external world. Own your power and elevate out of it. That's where the power lies. Okay? That's where you embrace all of you. Because this is a big deal for me. I've been trying to get very crystal clear with everybody of how I teach. Do I use astrology? Sure, but I don't use astrology like a normal astrologer. And astrologers are amazing, but they use a lot of math and a lot of numbers. I teach lighthouse astrology. What is lighthouse astrology? This is the light in your spine to God codes to divine consciousness. And you have 12 consciousness states inside of you. You decide how you're going to show up at those parties. And then who's included in that house party in that room. And that's you owning that life and that blueprint that you chose. And so you have to look at it from a you blueprint and not the future and what's going to happen. And because of this, I'm doomed. You are doomed if you play low frequency. You're not doomed if you play high frequency of the chart. That's the biggest piece we have to start awakening to is we have users manuals that we came with. You designed it. And you designed a way out of every single aspect of your life so you could get to happy highway, to get to a greater level, to get to a high frequency of life. Someone says, I no longer blame the people in my past experiences. I see them as my teachers. Beautiful. I appreciate them for showing me, and I wish them the best, but there is no space in my wonderful world for them. I am sending them on their way in a loving way. And I'm going to break this to all of you. Some of them may show back up again when they finally took the time to do the work. Because your energy is a lighthouse. So don't forget, your light is so bright. Sometimes it burns people, but when they get far enough out to the ocean, because they're in a boat, and they need salvation, and they need to be saved, and they need to they're going to save themselves. And they're going to save themselves by looking at your light to get to shore, to find safety, to find solutions. And they did it, so they must be able to too if you did it. That's my point, my friends. Do not discount the work that you're doing is only for you. It's just because it's making you whole and complete. And when you're living in wholeness, you're living in confidence, and no one can move your light. No one can move your lighthouse. You're powerful. And sometimes it's going to take some hard choices. Some hard choices that people won't like. Doesn't mean you stop loving them. Doesn't even mean you stop supporting them. You just don't do it their way. You're doing it for you. And it's not an easy thing because we think life is supposed to just show up. That was the old, you remember The Secret back in the day? Make a vision board. That's gone. Now it's like make the vision and now start taking steps, but the speed to get there is going to be so much faster. So don't question the work it's going to take because the old work your brains out, that mindset mentality is gone. That is the whole portion of AI. Aquarius rules AI. We're in the age of Aquarius. Pluto's in Aquarius for 20 years. You guys need to embrace this. I can get help and I can get it fast. It might be from a person, it might be from technology, and it might be from you because you know the solution. Does it make sense? Any other questions? Any other questions in general and just the universe? I'm happy to answer them. What I'm going to do is, remember, we have the Truth Tribe group in the IDI Club, which is if you signed up, you get tagged into and you open the portal, you'll get an email link. And in that portal is a our private Facebook wall, which I will put other things that are coming more that I don't like putting in public, because then I get dinged, and again, healing practices and stuff that I use. So there's also the Facebook group. They're identical, my friends, and I share the same thing in both of them. But it's open for discussions for growth, not just here, but with others. So remember to like and share these videos, invite friends to the next Truth Tribe. But I'm going to drop, and I'd like you guys to answer tonight, even on here. Those who aren't here yet, they'll listen to the call, and then they'll be able to go onto the walls. I'm going to drop a poll in the IDI Club and the Facebook walls. And what do you all want to learn more to see in your charts or quantum fields? Is it health, wealth, or love the most, or all of them still? Because there's a lot to share all the time, but I have more health hacks that I can count, right? Wealth hacks that are all about your chart, as well as love hacks, right? Because we're living in this anti-emotional, right? We've been in a big spiritual and emotional poverty for so long that we forgot God's inside of us. Your God codes are inside of you. And every time you take a brick to your vision and stay centered and fill in your soul, the God codes kick in. Your healing codes kick in. Your love frequency kicks in. Your wealth frequency kicks in. How easy is it for you to make wealth in your life when you feel guilty and shamed by having it? Right? Someone said love, then wealth, then health. In that order. I love that. Thank you for sharing. That was perfect. So next week, yes, then I will try and tap more into love, unless someone else has any other requests. I'm also going to drop this again, like I said, in a poll into both of those walls, so you guys can tap in, because your chart shares that. Your chart shares how to step more into romance and partnerships and how you handle them. And there's certain houses and there's certain planets that you're drawn to that energy more so than other energy. And you have to own that. And so we can play high frequency, or we can play the weak frequency of that house of love and romance and partnerships. Right? And so that's a big deal. All right. Someone says, is this veil lifting? I have felt like I'm in a fog at times, and then all of a sudden I just start seeing things that, like, right in front of me. It was just clear finally. Yes. So I'm so glad you asked this, Jen. Thank you so much. A very good question. This fog is basically what I started with the Scorpio full moon, my friends. So the fog is basically the skeletons in your closet, the insecurities, call them skeletons, okay? And the fog it kind of envelops you and makes you feel uncomfortable, so you have to focus on you. And then stuff showing up, you're thinking about thoughts, and you're having memories, and you're having all this stuff. That fog lifts as soon as you figure out, no, I want that. But you start realizing, I have to have the opposite to see it. You can't have the light if you don't have dark. So yes, the fog is lifting as soon as you grab the clarity. But it's asking you, just ask your angels, ask the universe, ask God, angels, spirit guides. I command that you give me clarity on how to end these ruminating thoughts, these ruminating darkness, or these insecurities that I know plague me. They're my pattern. They're in my chart. I know my hotspots. I know where I'm weak, and I don't like it, and it's still popping up. I command that you give me clarity, a solution, ideas, anything that would show up and make it in my face so crystal clear that I know what to do, and make it instant, immediate healing solution now. Like, I've given you all that mantra. It's all in the Facebook and the IDI Club walls. So if you just tap in, open it up, you can find it. By the way, the I Deserve It Club, if you're in the I Deserve It membership, if you've signed up recently for Truth Tribe, you got a ping, you got an email saying, here's your login. Save that to your phone. Save to home screen. You can tap in there and open up Facebook, or the Facebook, I call it the Facebook, the I Deserve It Club wall. The logins are always for our Zoom call every night, or every Monday are in there. There's a calendar in there with the link in it. Everything's in there for you guys. I built this thing so you didn't have to go anywhere but there. but the wall's there, the questions are there, links are there for healing, for meditations, all the things you guys asked for, they're all sitting in there now, okay? My assistant's adding a few more things, so you'll see some new cool things pop in as well. But, more bugs. It's time to step into the driver's seat, as someone just said, and it is. You're the driver of this ship. This is the submarine, and you're floating around in this world. And you get to decide where your submarine goes, who it attracts, and what sonar you're sending out. Okay? And so when you look at your chart, it's easier to look at you and say, oh, these are the signs, these are the areas, these are the houses, and I'm affected by them. And when you go read or watch it's a very short course, the Astrology 101, Self-Awareness Astrology 101, it shows you how to see how each house you're being impacted by what kind of party you're having in that house of your lighthouse. Are you having a serious party with partnerships? Are you having an emotional party? Are you having a manipulative party? What's going on? So you can take back your power. My brain feels fuzzy at times. I swear, it's like my brain disconnected when I write. Yet I feel more clear. So guys, when you're feeling fuzzy, I'm honestly, my suggestion right now is to clean, to rest, I've kind of started creating tea time, right? In the afternoons when I need a break and I don't force myself to do it because I'm like, what am I going to do? I go have a cup of tea. I literally set up a whole tea set. I got a teapot, I've got my cup, I got my tea bags, and I force myself to sit down because it takes about 30 minutes. I make the tea and I sit down. By the time I drink it, it's downtime. So I don't feel like I'm not doing something for me, but then all of a sudden, all this clarity fills in. But if I catch that going on, this ruminating, the fuzziness, the fog, the clarity, it's just because your body is telling you, stop, focus on this. What do you need? And what you need right now might be a cookie. You're like, I really want a cookie. Go get the cookie. I really want to read. I really want a bath. I really want to go to a movie. That's what this darkness is doing, is saying all this stuff doesn't matter anymore. All those skeletons, all that darkness. What matters is if you choosing you. And we haven't been doing that for a long time. We've been so outside of ourselves, wondering if the world outside is going to get better. I guarantee you it's going to get better. I promise. We're only going to a brighter place, but we had to transition. Just as you personally are transitioning out of the old and into the new rebirth, so is the earth, so is the world around you. And it may look messy. Quit looking at messy. It takes messy to break apart so you can step into the next version. Okay? The next version of this world. And again, I said this probably 3 years ago. There's like two worlds. You're going to either sit in your old world or you're going to step into this new frequency. And the new frequency doesn't have a frequency match to this old frequency. You've evolved up here. So trying to match into other people, places, experiences, sometimes the fogginess I'm catching, I can't remember who I was. Or when I had a problem, I was like, wait, when did that? Like, I can't remember it anymore because that's an old me that doesn't exist in this new reality. So you're having this forgetfulness. Don't worry about it. Be foggy. It means it's not part of the new you. Just focus on the new you want to be. Don't worry about if you're forgetting it. It will come back if you need it. But it's like, what was I, when I was having that issue? I don't really have it anymore, but I'm trying to think about it because I want to see my evolution. You don't need it. There's no evolution. There's nothing. You have healed those DNA codes and they've evolved. So this is called what they called new earth and old earth. There's no earths. There's no two places. It's just the frequency you're living in is lighter. And this frequency, some people want to stay. And that's what I'm talking about. The lighthouses will be there when some of these want to slowly pull out. Some won't. But some of these are boats that want to go to the light. And they will look for your light and they will follow you. But that fogginess, that confusion, like what was I doing? Or, why did I get this? I went to try to fix an order an email and I was like, who did I even email? Like, who am I trying to find? I literally couldn't even think of the company's name. And I had the product right in front of me, but I couldn't just look at it, type that in. I kept trying to think of the company. And I was like, oh, I don't need it right now. And I was because I was going to cancel it. And I was like, clearly, it's not for me to worry about right now. And I just let it go. But some people are like, oh my God, I can't think. It's not wrong. Something's wrong with me. Nothing's wrong with you. You are rebirthing. And this new you doesn't need stuff that doesn't resonate with you anymore. That's what's happening. Okay, my friends? All right. So again, if you're thinking, yes, Dawn, I need to know myself better, you absolutely can. Remember, if you missed last week or any other weeks, if you missed the Zodiac Wheels, your Medicine Wheel, Elevate, or Astrology 101, Self-Awareness, and you want to get the class, you can get them individually on my website, ideserveitnow.com. Or if you're like, I want it all, I'm going to go in steps. They're ordered 1, 1.5, 2, and they take you down a path, right? Just get the VIP I Deserve It membership, and you get access to everything, all my work, all my tools, and you can ask questions about them right here or in Facebook in our private rooms. Okay, all my tools that give you the freedom to grow at your own pace. So just head over to ideserveitnow.com. You can see all of them in the header and or on my homepage. Again, if you're listening to this after the live session or in YouTube or Spotify links, the links are always down below in the notes. So if you need to access any of these, they're there. Remember to find me if you have any questions. You can all find me in DMing me in the social media chat platforms. I'm always there to share the love. Okay. Thank you guys for joining me tonight. I love you all. Brightest blessings. I will see you next week. You guys got this. Do not back up. Move to the light. I love you. You guys have a great night. Take care.